Hello everyone, my name is Dr. Joel Rosen and I want to welcome you back to the 6th edition of Understanding MTHFR and Methylation. This is really complicated stuff. If you need to go back and rewatch those other videos, please do. Also call me and let's set up a free 15-minute phone consult so that we can go over this and figure out what's going on with you and what my best recommendations would be. So now we're going to carry on from the first very cycle. So this is the folate cycle. And this is all about step 1. And this is how well do you convert folic acid into folate. And so what happened was we, as a society, found that there were in nations that had very little folate or leafy green vegetables, there was a lot of neurotube defects. And so what we decided to do was we started to enrich foods. We started to put fortified vitamin B in there in our foods, in our cereals, in our grains, and in our packaged foods. And we found that this caused, in our vitamins, and we found that this caused a reduction in neurotube defects. However, as we learn about this genetic story, we find that folic or enriched foods is actually the worst thing that you could possibly do if you want to have a thriving body and producing energy. And I'm going to explain what that means. So the first thing I would tell you is if your doctor is putting you on folic acid, and for a prenatal or just a vitamin because they see that you may have MTHFR, that's the absolute worst thing to do. That tells you that they're not kept up on the information of converting folic into folate. So the very first thing I'll do without even looking at someone's genetic test is I'll say, okay, get off of folic acid. Look at your supplements. Look at your foods. Anything that's packaged or enriched or fortified. Get off of that because that's going to require you to try to go through all of these enzymes to produce folate, which is the nature version, which is in green leafy vegetables. So the first thing I tell patients is get off of folic acid and look at your supplements, look at your foods. Look at anything that's fortified and eliminate it. Be militant about it. And on the flip side, get on as much uncooked leafy green vegetables as possible. I know a lot of people say, well, my doctor says that I can't do it because of my thyroid. I say, you know what? You need the folate the methylfolate in the green leafy vegetables trumps any of the problems that you can get with the green leafy vegetables for your thyroid. So that's number 1. Number 2, when we go through folic acid to make folate, the difference between the two is basically this methyl group. These enzymes had to work very, very hard to put the methyl group on that folate. And so if you're eating folic acid and you have a lot of blockages, you have a lot of pluses or plus minuses or 4-lane highways or 2-lane highways, then that's going to cause a huge problem for you to produce methylated folate, which is basically the first step in order to get to step 2, in order to get to step 3, in order to get to step 4. It's basically the first step, and you're already behind the black ball if you don't have the ability to produce folic into folate. And that's really where MTHFR comes in. MTHFR is this last gene. So it converts methylfolate long story short, it helps to produce folate from folic. It's the last step. So if you have a 2-lane highway, you're going to have some blockages in your ability to make methylfolate. Another very important lesson on here is FAD. FAD is activated riboflavin, and our thyroid activates FAD or riboflavin. So what does that mean? That means that if you have a hypothyroid, if you're autoimmune, then potentially you're not activating riboflavin, and that's a cofactor that helps make methylfolate. On top of that, if you have a 2-lane highway, now you don't have a transponder, you don't have any fast pass to go through the 2-lane highway, and now you're blocked up and you're not making a lot of methylfolate. There's other SNPs that you could have in here, MTHFD or DHFR or SHMT. Those are all SNPs that are very, very important that we need to understand how we can help get you through that roadblock, what nutrients we can use to help you with that. But suffice to say, if you're not producing a lot of folate, that's going to be your first problem. And a lot of you have MTHFR, and that's what's happening. And you have a thyroid problem, and that's what's happening. So we can give you methylfolate, or we can give you some of the cofactors like FAD, or we can give you some of the end products over here. But suffice to say, we need to understand where the problem is, and that's where the genetic tests come in. So hope you enjoyed this lesson. My name is Dr. Joel Rosen. I'm dedicated to helping you understand MTHFR and methylation, and looking forward to helping you with your chronic health problem. Thank you so much.